Good morning, everyone. We'll get started. My name is Ben Bales. I'm one of the lieutenants with the Salem Police Department. I would like to thank each of you for being here today for our ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new police station. This is an important project not only for our community, but for the men and women that are going to move into this building and work in it for many years to come. Before we get started with the actual ribbon cutting, you will be hearing from a few members of the project team and some key individuals who made this project a success. So let's start this morning's ceremony with a few words from our chief, Jerry Moore.
Well, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. It's a great turnout, and it's nice to see you in this an exciting day. I think I'm going to say something that's really obvious, but I'll say it anyway. But for the first time in 48 years, it was easy for all of you to locate the Salem Police Department. Those are parking spaces out there. This is the front door, and that sign there tells you this is the place you were looking for. So that's going to be a wonderful thing for our community. A building like this doesn't come easy, as you all know, and there's so many people that we need to thank. And in just a few minutes, all of us up here are going to have an opportunity to do that. But before those thanks, I think it's important for me to mention that we're so pleased we can open such a facility for this community. This is the community's building. We just get to work out of it, and we're so pleased about that. You know, we asked, and our folks were able to keep this facility centrally located. I know it adds something to an already beautiful neighborhood, and it will stand for a beacon for everyone needing help or safety in their lives. It was designed to be a welcoming building, open and bright, not a bunker, as some people might have suggested, and our architects have done just that. This is a beautiful building. Besides the safety and security it adds for visitors, victims, employees, and volunteers, it is a functional building for the men and women of this police department who have needed a facility like this for 30 years. Regardless of what you read or hear, your police department stands for what is important and good in this community. And this building will represent that probably for at least 40 or 50 years. You know, I'm one of the few people in our police department who spent their career in the current Civic Center. I can tell you, as I've told everyone as this project began, the community and our employees have always deserved better, and our community stepped up to make that happen. For that, I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. You know, our community reaps the rewards of people working hard to make things happen, and I wish I could recognize everyone by name. Instead, I'm going to thank a few people here for the role they played. First, the mayor appointed a Blue Ribbon Task Force, which studied the needs and made recommendations to council. Lots of meetings, site visits, hard work, and interesting conversations for sure. The Friends of Salem Police, who after our first bond measure failed, got a hold of me the next morning and said, "We let you down. That's never going to happen again." And they came together and took on the task of educating the community about the need for such a facility and helping pass the second bond measure. Our city manager, Steve Powers, who barely settled in before being greeted by the failure of the first bond measure, who supported the vision of moving the second measure forward and making this happen. A couple of city people who aren't here today, I don't believe. Peter Fernandez and Alan Dannon from Public Works, and Kristen Rutherford from Urban Development, who were instrumental in making and managing this project. So I want to thank you again for being here today and allowing me to address you. But there's one more person I need to thank. And that is, of course, our mayor, who's been with us and supported us through the entire process, and we very much appreciate him. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the City of Salem Mayor, Chuck Bennett.
Well, thank you very much, Jerry. This task is made easier when your community is represented by some of the finest men and women we share as neighbors, and with the leadership of folks like Jerry Moore, Skip Miller, D.C. Belshaw, Lieutenant Bales. You'll hear from a lot of them, and I hope, I know many of you know each or have friends and relationships with members of our police department. Before I get going on this, I do want to acknowledge some elected officials that are here that have played a role in this and other aspects of city services. First, City Manager Steve Powers is here with us, as well as Councilor Kara Kaiser, Councilor Vanessa Nordyke, Councilor Jim Lewis, Councilor Chris Hoy, Councilor Brad Nanke, Councilor Tom Anderson, State Representative Raquel Moore Green, and District Attorney Paige Clarkson. So I really thank you for showing up here with us. The relationships I mentioned and the relationships we have among all of us here in the community are what allows this city to function as well as it does. And this monumental project that brings us here today is really a perfect example of what relationships can do. When I first ran for mayor, building a new police station was one of my campaign goals. It took some time through years of dreaming, planning, campaigning, building, and those relationships were being built all that time. And now you can see what that can accomplish. I recalled as I thought about this, my own experience getting a look at the new police station with Roy Halladay when he was the chief of police. I was a young reporter. He took me through, was very proud of his 28,000, 6,000 square feet. I mean, it really was meeting the need 40 years ago. And here we are. We'll all look back on this. I know you'll all be here 40 years, so I may miss that one, but I pray all of you are here 40 years from now for the expansion or the new building that'll be built to replace this. The building here is to enhance relationships. It's a space where the police department can invite the community inside to share ideas, discussions, training, and celebrations. We're standing here in an open, well-lit plaza with a visible front door in a building that will serve as a welcoming beacon of safety for those who need the services of our police department. This building's ability to welcome others and make a connection is a vast difference from the current situation at our police department. The location of this building has created a new focus of community engagement in this area of town. All around this building, new neighbors are moving in. New transportation routes with better access to the area have been created. The appearance of the building and presence of our officers will bring a new feeling to this neighborhood. The relationships our police department has built throughout the years with our community is what created the support necessary to get this facility built. We feel this building is something everyone in this community can be proud of today and for decades to come. We built here in our capital city the most technologically advanced standalone police station in the state of Oregon. This building is now home to our own crime lab, a state-of-the-art workspace which will help us process evidence more quickly. Our new forensic computer lab brings us to the cutting edge of 21st century crime fighting. Thanks to the Salem Police Foundation, we were able to purchase the firearms training simulator, which will ensure our officers remain some of the most highly skilled officers in the country. With the new training spaces created in this building, the department will be able to conduct their annual certification training, including defensive tactics, de-escalation, and first aid on site, saving training time and money. Thank you to the Salem Public Art Commission for their work on this beautiful piece of art, Equitas, in front of the police station. Our relationship with the art community has allowed the city to have a wide range of unique art pieces across Salem. And thank you, our commission, for choosing Blessing Hancock as the artist to design this piece, which will draw people to the building. Relationships built this facility. Some of the key relationships through this process were those we built with CB2 Architects, DLR Architects, J.E. Dunn Construction, and Day CPM Project Management. Without their vision, design, skill, and leadership, we would not be here today. In fact, without them working pretty much overnight, we would not be here today, and certainly not sitting on a plaza standing on a plaza that looks this good. I thank you all for the hard work and dedication it took to make this dream a reality, and I'm excited to watch how this facility will positively affect Salem. So again, thank you very much for coming out today, and now I'd like to turn it over to D.C. Belshaw, our leader in all of this.
So I'm not sure why I'm up here, because the mayor and the chief have thanked everybody, but I'm not one to pass up a microphone, because who knows, if I talk enough, I might say something important, but probably not. The chances of that are slim. So I want to talk to you about this project. This project has really become a source of pride for those that are working on it. As I walked around this site, you got to wear personal protective equipment, like a fluorescent yellow vest, and mine says police on it. So people tend to notice you when you're walking around the job site when it says police on it. But they also want to talk to you about it. They want to talk to you about the parking ticket that they got because they parked where they weren't supposed to. But B, they wanted to talk about this project, because we had over 900 workers work on this site. 25% of them are Salem area residents. So for 25% of those workers, this is a source of pride for them. This is an area building that they're going to drive by constantly. And so they wanted to show me what they were doing and tell me about that. As you tour the building, you'll see artwork up there. I've had 2 workers point out relatives in the artwork that used to work for the Salem Police Department. So this building is a source of pride for our community. I heard over and over again, this is the cleanest site. This is the most enjoyable site I have ever worked on, which is really a testament to the commitment of our leader, Matt Jones, Marco, Jeremiah, Corey. You guys did an amazing job, and I want to thank Matt Braun and Kyle for really giving us your A-team, because the reason this building looks great is because of them. And not only their vision, but that of Jake and Kirk and Kent and our design teams, because we asked them for some things and they looked at me and said, okay, and they went back to their offices and said, these guys are crazy, but they managed to pull it off, and the things that we asked for are here. So thank you guys for your commitment to making our dream a reality. And then of course Ricardo and Luis and Day CPM, we wouldn't be here without you. You kept us on track. You listened. You were very patient with me. Many conversations started with, now Steve, let's talk about this. So, but you were patient and you helped that. And then of course Public Works, Alan, Dana, and Luke Gamazel, the street design, getting the traffic signals out here. You helped us with all the permits, the red tape stuff that we know nothing about, and helped us with those. And of course, I really want to thank my right-hand person, Lieutenant Ben Bales. I couldn't have done this without him. He took pride in this. He made sure as many members of our department were included in these conversations. He got people down here for tours, got their input, and really did an amazing job of including our people. And of course, Angie Hedrick and Mark Jantz, who put up with my odd requests for building buzz and the videos and where we're going to do the videos and all that kind of stuff. But we really were transparent with this project. We kept the community informed through Building Buzz about what was going on here on the site. and our social media expectations far exceeded anything than we ever thought. So thank you guys for your work on that. And then lastly, thanks to Chief Jerry Moore, who for some completely unknown reason assigned me to this project. Again, don't know what he was thinking, but he allowed Ben and I to make some decisions that we were probably not capable of making, but we did anyway. And we're really proud of this building. And then thanks to my fellow DCs, Skip Miller and George Burke, who were patient with endless questions, last minute meetings, what do you think about this? And the incredible team who built this building, and the officers who provided input. This is a building that we can be proud of. This is a building you can be proud of. And this is a building that will last our community for years to come. And I really can't wait for you all to get inside and see the building. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jake Davis, who was my original partner in meeting with the Blue Ribbon Task Force and bringing this building to fruition.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Steve. That's wonderful. It feels a little more than a little surreal standing here today. The need for a new civic police station in Salem is far greater than the distance between my home in Deerfield, Illinois, to my home away from home here in Salem. This started more than 14 years ago, and the city and PD recognized that a police department for a growing community needed a dedicated facility with a police-first focus. We're relative newcomers as we became involved in 2014. My partner Justin Stronzel and I met Jerry and Steve that night in December, and the seeds of deep partnership and shared vision were sown. Standing here and looking back on the path that it took us to get here and looking out at this gleaming community facility, I'm moved to think about how this transparent building both reflects, and acts as a mirror. The building is a mirror for the city's growth, its sense of civic pride, and the honor and decency that defines the Salem Police Department. But this building will always be for me a reflection of the values of a diverse community striving for equity and a welcome stake in a respectful and inclusive public facility that invites you in. The result is also a reflection of deep commitment and teamwork from so many. That deep partnership of Chief Moore, Deputy Chiefs Belshaw, Burke, Miller, and Lieutenant Bales, Allen, and Ricardo, and so many others is unforgettable and unprecedented at this level of dedication and consistency. They've made engagement of police staff a priority. Function and efficiency were matched with an equal measure of employee wellness, and communication design with a tireless focus on the future. They have opened the doors and invited this grateful community inside to share in the ample daylight. I'm proud that the Civic Gateway is also a reflection of the kinship of our design partnership between CB2 Architects and our DLR Group team. Working with Kirk and Kent has kept me in step with the latest communications, and I love that they cared about the same arcane things as I droned down about open stairways, staggered stud partitions, and auto-opening doors. They worked hard to make those and 10,000 other things a reality. Tim Gainey has been my spirit partner from the beginning. I'm beyond grateful for his wisdom, his humor, and his rampant design belief. My partnership with Cheryl Johnson on the interior shows its magic in the glorious employee break room and the loving curation of the city and SPD's historical collection that enlivens the corridors and anchors this building to this wonderful place. I would be remiss without telling you how personally grateful I am to the Salem community. More than a meaningful project, you've invited us into your homes. You've cared so deeply about the success of this project. I feel like I've made lifelong friends here. It's my sincere hope that this facility can be a representation of the power of bringing perspectives together and understanding that we can all learn something from. Thank you. And Kirk, my partner, come on.
Thank you, Jake. My name is Kirk Sund. I'm managing principal at CB2 Architects here in Salem. and I've been lucky enough to be the lead architect on this beautiful building behind me. Having grown up in Salem and now working here, it's been an honor to be involved in this project for the Salem Police Department. For us, this started back in 2010 when the City of Salem engaged with the University of Oregon for the Sustainable Cities program, and a group of architecture students envisioned what a new police station would look like for the City of Salem. And although none of the student site locations were selected, it spurred ideas about what a future police station could be and what essential elements of an urban campus could include. One of our goals with this project was to provide a timeless design that created a vision to the future in both policing and civic design. The other was to have a building and a campus that the police department and the greater Salem community could be proud of. Over the past 10 years, since the early discussions about the replacement of the police station, we have been incredibly grateful for the vast number of individuals that have provided input and guidance into the pursuit of this long overdue facility. From students and staff to community leaders and citizens of Salem, their gracious investment of time and energy to the design and development have made this project a reality. Specifically, I'd like to thank the mayor, past and current city council members, city manager Steve Powers, for the vision and effort it took to make this project a reality. I'd also like to thank Chief Moore, Deputy Chiefs, Lieutenant Bales, for believing in our team and allowing us to design their new home. Thank you to Public Works Project Manager Alan Dannon, Owner's Rep Ricardo Besserol. It's been a great team to be a part of, and I've enjoyed our time working together. Executing an architect's vision can sometimes be a challenge, but the great group at J.E. Dunn took it head on and has produced a high quality product and really should be commended in delivering through this really tough year. I'd also like to thank our design partner in DLR Group, Jake, Kent, Tim, Cheryl, many others. It was amazing to see our teams gel together and work towards the common goal so easily. Last but not least, I'd like to thank all of our team members at CB2 Architects and the countless hours working to make this building stand out as a beacon in the community, especially Aaron Turpinning and Mark DeCuna. And with that, thank you, and I will turn it over to Matt Braun at J.E. Dunn.
Good afternoon. My name is Matt Braun. I'm the Vice President of Operations for J.E. Dunn's Portland office. And I can tell you that, we build a lot of projects across the United States. We do a lot of work here in Oregon. And our favorite types of projects are these ones in the community where folks are so invested, where the clients are here and deeply interested, where friendships develop amongst the team between the design teams, the owners, and the builders. These don't happen very often. These are a couple of times in a career that you get to have the passion poured out from the community, the talent that is given to the project by the companies that are involved and by the owner that's involved. And we've really been impressed as a team by the high quality of folks that each department and each organization is given. The police here are really dedicated servants to the community of Salem, getting to see their passion and their compassion poured out as we're talking about how we're going to build and how we're going to approach problems has really been inspiring. I've really been impressed with the DLR team, with the CB2 team. I'll say this, years ago I was counseled, don't go through a list of names, you're going to forget somebody and you're going to hurt their feelings, so I'm not even going to try. But over and over again, we've seen dozens of folks come out and participate as, again, the best talent that could be afforded by these organizations came. And I've appreciated that deeply myself. I also want to thank the crafts members, the folks who've been here last night and every day throughout. Our trade partners that have come and built here really have participated and given their best as well. And I've been grateful for that also. And finally, to my team here with J.E. Dunn, the leadership that they've provided, they've been really passionate and here every day and participating with DLR, CB2, of course Ricardo and Luis. I gave you some names because these guys were great at OTAC. So again, thanks for all of that. Thanks for the community of Salem and this great building. It's just beautiful. With that, I'll close and give one of our favorite clients of all time, DC Belshaw, the mic. Thank you.
So this means the talking is over. The mayor is under strict instructions not to run with the scissors. But we are going to have the chief and the mayor do the ribbon cutting. And then after that, our first tour is scheduled for 10:40. So if on your tag it says 10:40, if you would come on up, we will get started as quickly as we can. And then we will call the second tour after that. So gentlemen.
Hold on a second, everybody go. Come on up. Good.